But
thing
we
that
tend
seems to be coming up quite a lot, and maybe you saw. Did you see the Las Vegas Sphere when you were there?
Oh no, I didn't see. I didn't see it while I was there. No.
You two were there, weren't they? I think they were either the first band to play there or something like that. There were quite a lot of, but the big smiley face on the dome, and this there's 160. If I get this right, 160,000 cameras that surround this massive dome with 160 odd thousand speakers, and so you can watch it inside and outside type of thing. And that's the type of thing that it portrays there. They've got the picture of the moon and all sorts of stuff that go around it. They're on about building one in London as well. I think it cost $2.3 billion to build.
Massive brainwashing tool, I would say. It's funny, since we spoke about the acid thing on your show, like, that yellow head just pops up everywhere for me. I don't know about you guys.
Well, yeah, isn't it interesting? Because we did that show in the summer, and I used the graphic, the smiley yellow face, because that was an icon of the acid house days. And since then, there's bloody smiley yellow faces everywhere. So we've got the dome in Las Vegas there. There's the Paul Van Dyke tune that he's put out with DJ Pierre called Acid Tracks, which is reviving an original tune from 1987, which sort of is said to have named the acid house genre, actually, said to have been named after Acid Tracks by this guy DJ Pierre, producer from the States. But yeah, you got the Paul Van Dyke thing with an advertising campaign which involves these smiley yellow faces, except his version is a sort of bastardized, distorted, dark version of it where the eyes are all like slits, and it reminds me of the Nirvana logo, back in the day. They had this twisted sort of version on the smiley yellow face, and now Van Dyke's got his imagery everywhere. He's got videos where you've got this girl on a skateboard going around these different cities, slapping these smiley yellow face stickers everywhere. And it becomes very dark, particularly when you factor in the work of William Ramsey. So he's an investigative journalist from the United States, and he's done a lot of work into the so-called smiley yellow face killings, smiley face killings. And this is a series of murders which took place in America, and there's also a British version of it going back to, I think, the 1980s, but going all the way forward to present day. And Ramsey's done a lot of work on this. I'm thinking of doing a new show with him, actually, to get up to date on it. But it's always young males of college age, and they're sort of high academic achievers. So they go to college or university, and they've always been out to some sort of party where they've usually got drunk, and then on their way home they go missing, and then they turn up sometime later, always in water. So the body is found in a lake or a river or a creek or something like that. Are we back to death by bathtub here, I wonder? Something ritualistic about it.
Yeah.
And then in the vicinity of where the body is found is a smiley face, which has been daubed onto a tree or a wall or something like that in paint. So it's a very dark, macabre take on the smiley face. And then it started happening in Britain. So young males were going missing and turning up in water in various places in Britain. And again, the smiley face was always in the vicinity. So there's definitely a dark side to the smileys. It's being revived. We're seeing it now with this Van Dyke stuff and everywhere else that the smiley is cropping up. And it does make me wonder if the shows that we did had anything to do with kickstarting this. I mean, maybe I'm bigging us up too much and imagining that we have more of an impact than we do, but it is quite coincidental, isn't it, that we did those shows in the summer, and then a few weeks or months later, you see this bloody smiley yellow face everywhere.
I've been going through William Ramsey's work, Matt. I'd never heard of him before, and I found him weirdly I wanted to listen to some Dave McGowan, so I was looking for an old Dave McGowan interview, and I found one of his from, I don't know, 2007 or something. And then I started listening to stuff about. He's just written a book. He just released a book about the smiley face killing, apparently. But he ties it into. He thinks there's a group called the Nine Angles, like this cult group that are worldwide, and he thinks it could be something to do with them. But even aside from like this, you just kept popping up. I cycled to work a while ago, and on the bench where I tie my bike up every time I go there, there was a bloody pamphlet for it with a big smiley face on it. And I picked it up. I sent a picture of it to Dom. I'm like, what is that? And it was from the church. Make this your happy day or something. There's a church there in middle of Cambridge. And it was just there. Just this coincidence of it just right there in front of me at 7 o'clock in the morning.
There's the Matthew Perry thing as well. So before Matthew Perry turned up dead in a jacuzzi, he put a post on his Twitter, was it, or Instagram? And it's a picture of him lying with a cushion with this smiley yellow face, a yellow cushion with the icon on. And right after that, he turns up dead in water. So there's something ritualistic about it.
Yeah. I think there was a lot of them in Manchester as well, weren't there?
Yeah, there were a lot in
the canals. Yeah,
that's right.
And those eyes are lightning bolts as well, aren't they? Or I suppose, is that Zeus? I mentioned that. Is that Zeus?
Zeus, Thor, or what is it? Devil getting cast out of heaven.
Ziggy Stardust.
Yeah.
That bolt's used on a lot, isn't it? I mean, is it to signify the devil and it getting blasted out of heaven? I think, is it? On a lot of kids' clothes as well, nicely.
But not only that, even in the video there, I did a screen capture of the video. They've got a clock with a smiley face on it, the old style.
I watched that video actually, Mark, and it's also, I don't know, it's a very, not just dark and dark. It's got a very low vibrational feel to it, and it didn't feel like a happy video when that girl's on that skateboard.
Well, I've been studying Paul van Dyk for quite some time, and he's clearly a major player in pushing agendas. And the thing about him is that most people that listen to our sort of shows, I would guess, would not be into trance music. So that's what he plays. So a lot of people don't even know who Paul van Dyk is. They don't care for the sort of music that he plays, and he would just fly completely over their radar. But when you actually pay close attention to him, you realize that he's been pushing elite agendas for quite some time. In particular, transhumanism and the glorification of AI and digital electronic ways of doing things. That's been a big part of his work for years. And he plays all these festivals that are named like Tomorrowland and Tomorrow World and Future Festival and things like this, hinting at this is the way the future is going to look. Everything's digital, everything's artificial. He does these giant laser shows where none of it feels natural. It must be horrible to be at one of those shows. I would never want to be there because you're just being drenched in artificial light and lasers and all these electronic sounds and who knows what's going into the sound frequencies. And yet the people that go there bloody love it. You know, millions of people turn up to these trance festivals, and when you go on his website, on his Facebook page, there's thread after thread after thread of people saying, oh, we love you, Paul, you're a god, I've named my child after you, and I've got your tattoo on my arm, and all this sort of stuff, right where I've had my Britney, you know, right about so it's amazing that people like us can find that so-called music to be totally repellent. And it puts us in a state of unease and we just want to turn it off. I can't stand to listen to that stuff, particularly that Acid Tracks tune that he's just put out. But it doesn't seem to affect others. You know, the fans love it. Gen Z, so-called, you know, my kids' generation, the sort of stuff they listen to, I just find unlistenable, but they love it.